Runcam on. Runcam record. Runcam stop. G'day and welcome back to RC Model Reviews. And how about that, a $99 camera with voice activated commands? Well, no. The reason I did that little bit of smoke and mirrors, because this does not have voice activated commands. The reason for the smoke and mirrors was because I don't want people thinking that this is a clone of a GoPro Session, because it's not. It is the same shape, it is the same size, probably close to the same weight as a GoPro Session 5 or 4, but it's not a GoPro Session. It doesn't have voice activated commands. It doesn't have super view. It doesn't have a lot of the different video formats that the GoPro Sessions have. It doesn't have 4K. It doesn't have a lot of stuff, but it's a $99 camera. Now, the cheapest I've seen a GoPro Session 5 advertised is for $300, 300 US dollars. So it's about a third the price of a GoPro Session. And if you look at it from that perspective, if you think of it as a Runcam 2 in a different box, then you'll get a better understanding of what this camera is about, what it's for, and what its strengths and weaknesses are. So yeah, this is really basically the same as a Runcam 2, but it's in a different form factor, designed primarily, I think, for mini quad racing, because it's quite a convenient form factor if you're going to put it on a mini quad. And I've got a mini quad here. I've got a Shuriken 180. I'll show you how this will fit on. Let me just pull out a bit here so we can get a better view. The Shuriken comes with a GoPro Session mount, and we can just pop this in here like so. It fits very nicely, so it's probably, whoops, and yes, you do use a strap as well. You don't just rely on friction, because it will fall out. And it is a tight fit, so I'm assuming that the tolerances are pretty close. There we go, right. So there you go, there's the, yeah, look at that. See, it's just perfect for those little quads, for mini quads. And because fitting this onto a mini quad is a pain in the ass. It's one reason I haven't used the Runcam 2 for a lot of aerial filming from mini quads, is it just doesn't fit really very easily. I do have a lovely mount that someone made for me. I'll show you that. Jump cut. This 3D printed, and it's that flexi 3D material. That is a fantastic camera mount for craft like this, where you may not have any easy other way to mount your camera. This is just brilliant. It sits on top of the battery, gives you the nice angle, and it protects the camera with this, you know, lovely surround here. It's going to smash your lens up. So that is about the only option in many cases of putting a Runcam 2 on a mini quad. It's just a little bit too big, it's a little bit too long, and it doesn't fit that well. But this, of course, now that every man and his dog is making mini quads with GoPro Session mounts, then this is perfect. The Shuriken X1 has it as well, so I'm going to be using this an awful lot to get a lot of video footage. But before I do, let's take a bit of a look around it, see what you get. It's a cube. There you go. It's the same size as a GoPro Session, so it fits the mounts. That's no problem. It has a button on the top for turning it off and on. The battery's flat in this one because I used it all day today to get you some footage to show you. It has 3 on the side in case you forget that it's not Thunderbird 1 or 2, and it's the same colour as Thunderbird 3. Oh, I wonder if there's some link there. And under here we have, well, this is a silicon rubber cover which peels up, and in there is your SD card, your micro SD card. One thing that's annoying though is that there's no indicator on here as to which way around that card goes. So half the time I put it in backwards and it jams, and you've got to fart around and get it out. Now the other thing is there's a tiny little silicon titty on the end there. You can probably see that. And getting that back in its little hole is sometimes not an easy thing. It doesn't seem to sort of want to go in very easily, and you've got to fart around pushing in quite hard. And even then, sometimes it just sits a little proud. It'd be nice if it was better, but it's not. It's just that. It's a $99 camera. On the front, we've got some Gorilla Glass. Look at that. Woohoo! So you can smash away at that. You can fly this thing into all sorts of stuff. And hopefully the Gorilla Glass won't break. But if it does, you can buy replacement glass. So it is a replaceable item, which means your Runcam 3 should be quite durable and last the distance. You won't need to, we probably can put another layer over there with one of those lens protectors, but has this built into it, which is kind of nice. On the back, we have 4 screws hold this back on. Now, there's no easily accessible battery hatch. I think it's a permanent battery. I'll confirm that later. I will do a teardown on this camera, but I won't do it today because I just wanted to get the basic video out, some examples of the footage, and I'll do a teardown later. We'll see what's inside. But when it comes down to what's inside this camera, we've got a little button here, which is for your Wi-Fi, and also does mode change. And it was handy to have this because there's no app for this yet. Now, as people who have the Runcam 2 will know, to change the settings, usually you just use your smartphone with an app. Well, I tried that app on here and it says it's not the right version, you need to update, but there's no updated thing. So this is a pre-release version of the Runcam 3. I'm pretty sure that by the time this hits the stores in a week or two, then the app will be ready. But if it's not, you can actually connect a camera up because it has live video out through the micro USB connector. You can plug that into a monitor and then use this and that button to operate an OSD to change some of the basic parameters like video resolution and all that sort of stuff. So I've set the wide dynamic range on because who wants to fly a camera with that wide dynamic range? And the wide dynamic range is really, really good on this. I like it. It's excellent wide dynamic range. Now, field of view, 150 degrees. Some people are going to say, oh, but let me slow down. People say I talk too fast. I do. It's the end of a long day and I'm quite tired. But some people say 150 degrees is too wide. Some people say it's not wide enough. You can't please everybody, so it's 150 degrees. Deal with it. It might be nice to be a bit wider for mini-quad stuff, but for fixed wing stuff, people like a narrow field of view. I don't know. Will you use this on a fixed wing? I probably wouldn't, because if you look at it from a frontal area perspective, it's about almost twice the area of the Runcam 2. So if we're putting on a fixed wing, we've got plenty of room. This is probably going to be the camera of choice. For your mini-quads, this will be the camera of choice. Now, this did come with a mount in the box. And Runcam said in an email to me that the mount won't be included as standard, but it is listed on their website as being a part of the package. So I don't know what's going on there. You have to find out for yourselves. Now, one thing I couldn't work out with this mount is how do you mount the mount? I mean, it's silicon rubber, you know. How does this actually mount on anything? Because it's just, there's nowhere to put a battery strap or a Velcro strap, or so I don't know. I don't know what you use that for. But came in the box I got, probably won't come in the box you get. So if you don't get one of these, it's no loss. I can't figure out how to use the damn thing. You get the usual other stuff that you get with Runcam cameras, an assortment of cable ties and cables and stuff. So you can use this as a live video out camera. I've tried it because I had to set up the OSD. And the lag is about the same as on the Runcam 2 because, as I said, I think it's pretty close to being the same thing in a different box, which is not a bad thing. The microphone does tend to be kind of quiet. I had to boost audio levels by 15 decibels to make it the same level as my ordinary camera. So yeah, it's quite quiet. But some people complain about that, but I don't, because this is not meant as a general purpose action camera. It's an FPV camera. And most of the time, when you're flying FPV, all you can hear is shh or me as your motors or your air. So you're not, having an insensitive microphone just means you're not saturating the audio track with wildly clipped audio levels. So I don't mind that this has got a low audio level. I really don't mind. Other people probably will. Never mind, because a lot of people bitched about this. But I don't mind the low audio on that either. I don't use it as a hat cam. I don't use it as a regular cam. If I want a hat cam, I tend to use my Mobius. Good old Mobius. But this is the Runcam 3. Right. Moving right along. Let's see how heavy this thing is, because obviously it feels kind of weighty, kind of chunky. So let's have a look and see what it weighs. Using the scales that don't show the blood. The manual says 66 grams. What do you bet? How close will it be? It says 68 grams. Ooh, 68, 67. 67 and a half probably. So it's about what it says in the manual. So that's not too bad. But how does that compare with, for example, with the Runcam 2? Well, I'm going to put the Runcam 2 on here, and you might be thinking, 36 grams, that's really light, but I haven't got a battery in that one, so I'll put a battery on as well. 49 grams, 50 grams. So it is heavier than a Runcam 2. But I'm thinking that extra weight must be down to something. Is it the Gorilla Glass on the front? Has it got a metal frame in it? Has it got a bigger battery? Let's have a look and see what it does on the spectrum analyzer, because that will basically tell us if there's a metal frame there, how well it performs. Because a lot of people, of course, they want to use their recording HD camera on their long distance FPV flights to get the high definition footage. So is this going to work with your UHF 433 megahertz radio gear, or is it going to cause all sorts of problems? Let's find out. Okay, let's get techie like only RC Model Reviews does. And here's the spectrum analyzer. It's set up. The center frequency is 430 megahertz. We have a span of 50 megahertz, which means it's going from about 380 up to 480 megahertz, which is the entire UHF band that most of our RC gear uses. I've got the sensitivity set to maximum, and at the moment the noise floor is minus 124 decibels. All that's probably gobbledygook to you, but basically watch the wiggly line. Right, I have a Mobius camera here, which has been a benchmark for a long time. I still use the Mobius, still like it for some applications. I'm going to put it here near the thing. I'm going to turn it on. You watch what happens to the noise on the line there. Hopefully it'll start up. The battery's not fit. Yep, there we go. Look, see all this noise up here? The line is, we've got peaks there of, well, I can't see them actually, but we've got quite a bit of noise appearing there. That's obviously making noise on the UHF band. If I move it closer, the noise will get bigger. Ooh, yeah, look at that. That's terrible. Okay, so that will affect your RC coverage if you're using UHF. It'll desensitize your receiver a little bit. So that's why people don't often use Mobius on long-range UHF to do if I actually start recording, just to make it even worse, whoa, and then she really gets a wiggle on. Look at that, there's a fair bit of action happening there. So when the Mobius is recording, it's making a lot of noise on the UHF band. Turn it off, and all goes away. There you go. So that's the baseline for the noise. Let's try it now with the Runcam 3. Here we go, Runcam 3 in the same place, watching carefully the line. I'm going to turn it on. It's now on. Look at that, it's like a graveyard at night. Deathly silent. It's flashing off and on because I think I've taken the memory card out of that one. Or it may be getting flat, I'm not sure. But there we go, it's like, man, there's nothing happening. This is a really good camera if you want to do long-range UHF recording. And of course, like all Runcam products, comes with a manual, and the manual's quite good. It takes you through step-by-step little picture drawings, so you can't get too lost if you're trying to do things. I worked out how to use the OSD to change the settings without the application, without the smartphone app, using this book. And I'll turn to the page that has specifications there. If you're watching this in HD, you can freeze that, and it tells you everything you need to know about this camera, or you can go to their website because, hey, it's got everything on the website as well. So there you go. That is the Runcam 3. I like it. I've been using it all day. It has performed really, really well. I love the form factor, and at $99, it's a good price point. And as I say, it's not a GoPro Session 3, Session 4. It's not a GoPro Session 5. If you want the features of a GoPro Session, go and buy one. But if you just want a really, really good HD recording camera that you can put on your mini quads, this is not too bad. It records at 30 megabits per second in the 60 frame 1080p mode, and that's enough. On the raw video footage, there's very few artifacts, compression artifacts. There's not a lot of noise pixelation, so that's pretty damn good. But of course, YouTube will probably screw that up because YouTube likes to compress the snot out of stuff. They don't want to pay for extra bandwidth. So I'm going to show you the footage now I took today, just various bits and pieces. Some of it is very slow flying, some of it's faster flying. Just gives you an idea of what I did today. Now this was just bolted with a cable tied to the front of my my quad. I used this one. This is the, surprisingly enough, I used this one because it's one I have done quite a bit of video footage with. It is the Foxtech Lightning, and I kind of like this quad actually. I really kind of like this quad. It is bulletproof. You'll see black marks on these propellers. That's from bitumen off the runway when I've landed upside down a few times and actually come in really fast and scrape the props at low level. It's had a total hammering. You'll notice even that the antennas on my radio gear are not evenly matched. They've been trimmed through this thing. It's just bulletproof. So I simply cable tied this onto there and flew it. So the pictures you see are from this bolted firmly to the frame of a quad with very badly balanced props because they have been scraped so many times. So don't expect too much, but you'll get to see it. I also had the Runcam 2 on there, and so you get a comparison between the Runcam 2 footage and the Runcam 3 footage. I haven't seen it myself yet, so there may be some differences. I'll clearly label Runcam 2 versus Runcam 3, and you can see for yourself if there's any differences. There may be, there may not be. We don't know. So there you go. That's it. Runcam 3 gets a thumbs up from me. If you've got $100 burning a hole in your pocket, you could do a lot worse than buy one of these. And if you can't afford a Session and you want something that'll do mini quad stuff, this is it. If you want something that has voice activated commands, has 4K, has super view, has all the cool features, then buy yourself a Session, second hand one even. One point of interest, I noticed that Omway, not Omway, God, who am I thinking of? Foxeer, so many companies now. Foxeer have done a rendering and sort of pre-announced they're going to do one of these as well, but this is going to be 4K and it's going to have super view and all sorts of stuff. But it's been my experience. Wait till we see it before we believe it. And these two companies, Runcam and Foxeer seems to have sort of played leapfrog a lot. You know, you get one company brings out a product, then the other company brings out one which is the same sort of thing but slightly improved, and then the other company brings out something slightly improved on that, and then the other one brings out another product. And so it's like, you know, it's great for us as consumers because we're always getting new products coming out, and this is one of the good new ones. And you're probably going to say, oh, but if I wait, I can get the Foxeer one, but $99. Why are you going to wait? Buy the if the Foxeer one's good, you buy that as well. You can never have too many FPV HD cameras anyway. There you go. If you've got questions, comments, put them in the usual place. And one thing I should mention, I'll do a little piece of camera using this camera so you can hear what the audio is like. It's very, very muted, very quiet. As I said, that's not a problem for me. But it may be a problem for you if you want to use this as a general purpose camera. In the meantime, thank you for watching. If you've got questions, comments, put them in the usual place. I will now leave you with some footage, some stunning footage from this Runcam 3, unretouched. I haven't done anything in post-edit. It's exactly as it came off the camera. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. This has to be a really good value camera for people that fly mini quads and want a robust little GoPro Session form factor camera without the cost of a GoPro Session. Of course, you could buy a second-hand GoPro Session, but if you smash it up, you're still going to be faced with a big replacement bill. So yeah, I like this. I like this camera. Runcam have done it again. Okay, a late update. One thing I'm really not at all happy with this camera is the microSD card. It's, as I said, it's not marked which way it goes in, and there's another problem I discovered. It is actually quite easy. I'm trying to do this one-handed because I'm holding the camera with my other hand. It's quite easy to slide the SD card in and, whoops, damn it, excuse my Parkinson's hands. Here we go. It's quite easy to slide in the SD card at a little bit of an angle, and when you do that, it actually falls inside the case. The guide don't catch it, and what I did was I put my SD card in here, it fell inside the case. So it was rattling around. Really bad form. So I took the back off, but unfortunately there's some of these little ribbon connectors here. As you can see, these little ribbon connectors, and when I pulled the back off, they came away, but there's no way to get those back on while you're putting the back on because it's all such a tight fit in there. And that means I've got to strip the whole damn thing down. I don't know how they've assembled this. It's not intuitive how they've put this together. So she's buggered, mate. That's it. I'll have to get hold of Runcam and find out what the assembly procedure is, but it's really crap. I mean, the card fell inside the camera, and that shouldn't happen. So Runcam, this really needs some attention to detail. This little micro SD socket here, it's so easy just to get that card going in there on an angle. It doesn't take much of an angle, look, and it misses it all together and falls inside, and then you're buggered. That's a fail. That's a big fail because I know I've only had this for a day and I've done it. How many other people will do this and end up with a camera that's, you know, then either it's not going to work because this card floating around the side will not do anything any good, and once it gets full of micro SD cards, you can't put any more in anyway. So yeah, that's really, really bad. I hope Runcam deal to that before they actually ship. They've already started producing, I think. It's on the production line, so I would say if you're going to get one of these, be very, very careful about the alignment of that card when you put it in there. Otherwise, you're going to end up with exactly the same problem. And if you put it in correctly, see, it does follow the guides and it goes in, okay. But it just takes just a moment's inattention, and it goes, misses, falls inside. Very, very poor.